peace with me. Nancy's Riot Podcast about positivity, being strong, get survival, mental health, helping each other and overcoming life's challenges. Take hold like a loud buckle, just to be a hurting. Hey. Chasing me is everything to the Lord alone. Hey. I'll let home and chase. I don't win.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you again from wherever you're watching or listening. I'm Nancy, host of Nancy's Riot, and I normally would say something, but this man just astonished me with this marvelous radio voice that you have. So, Doug,
you like that?
Yes. Can you please say what you were saying?
Should I do the Nancy's Riot intro?
I think that you should. Please do me the honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, live and in color from wonderful scenic Las Vegas, Nevada, we present Nancy's Riot.
Wow, is that not a voice or what?
Do I sound like Don Pardo from Saturday Night Live?
No, you sound like you should be announcing UFC fights or boxing matches at the Sphere.
Let's get ready to rumble.
You do. You just have that voice. Thank you for it.
Thank you.
So before I get started, I just wanted to say, I don't know if you guys have been catching my episodes, but once again, we saw somebody being executed in front of us. And we should not be seeing that in today's world. Another person that I've not heard mentioned a lot is Keith Porter, that was also murdered by an off-duty agent on New Year's Eve. And we all know about Renee Good. And Doug, you as a former Vietnam vet, what are your thoughts on what's going on?
I'm a Vietnam era veteran.
Yes. Sorry.
I am shocked. And here's how the system failed. I don't understand why local police are not quickly investigating. We all saw a murder of Mr. Petty. The local police should have immediately stepped in, conducted a homicide investigation with reports, with witness statements. They take that investigative packet, submit it to the district attorney's office, the local DA, and the DA should be filing charges. Why is the system broke? Why is that not happening in this case? If it was anyone else in the world, that guy would have been prosecuted.
I agree. And it's sad that we've gotten to this point.
It's bitterly sad. I joined the Army. Well, strike that. I got a draft letter, and then I went to the recruiter, and the recruiter said, if you join for 3 years instead of get drafted for 2, I'll give you a guaranteed duty station in Europe. And I said, Vietnam, Europe. I'll take Europe.
And you spent 3 years in Germany.
So I spent 3 years in Germany, but I joined the Army during wartime, and believe me, this was during the Vietnam War, so it wasn't easy in Europe either. We were looking at Russians pointing nukes right at our nose, right across the border, thousands of them. And so it was wartime, and I joined that to protect the rights of you and me and all Americans. And instead of being protected, we have this, I'm just going to be candid here, Gestapo, roaming the streets, breaking the law. You can't arrest someone unless you have probable cause. Probable cause is a reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime was committed and that the defendant committed it. If you don't have those two things, you can't go up to Mr. Petty and say, stop, or whatever. So it's a tragedy. It's a damn tragedy.
It is, and just how immigrants are not getting their due process.
Oh, none of them are.
None of them are.
You see the videos. I was just walking into people's houses. You can't do that in America. In America, you are required, the Fourth Amendment guarantees you and me, all of us Americans, the right against unreasonable search and seizure. The only time that a police officer can enter your home without a warrant is either if you give them permission or if there's what's called exigent circumstances. That means if they're chasing a felon, someone commits a robbery and runs into a house, they can run in and chase that felon. But if they come up to your house, if you're in the country without paperwork, and by the way, that's just a misdemeanor.
Right.
It's a misdemeanor. It's nothing. It's nothing that even should be enforced.
We have a president.
There's a lot of
34
priorities
felonies.
that take. Yeah, right. Our president has 34 freaking felonies.
Yeah.
Why aren't somebody going after him? But the point is, if they don't have a warrant that describes what they're searching for, either the person or the things, they cannot enter your home. But they're doing it willy-nilly. This ICE alleged, immunity and things is trying to think of the exact legal term. Bullshit. They're not entitled to do that. The Constitution is not abrogated just because you're a member of ICE. You're required to get a warrant, and a warrant is issued by a neutral magistrate. They have to go to a judge, say, hey, we need to get into this place, and here's why. If the judge thinks that's a reasonable suspicion, then they grant the warrant and they go in.
And in case you're wondering how this man is so knowledgeable on the law, you were a litigator, trial attorney
yeah,
for 37 years here in Las Vegas.
That's right.
And you moved here in 1984 from California.
Wonderful, scenic Sacramento, California. I graduated from law school in 1984 from McGeorge School of Law in Sacramento. It's a small private law school. And my trial advocacy partner, when you start law school, they put you together with someone and you try mock trials the whole 3 years that you're in law school. My mock trial partner was a guy named Rich, and he is a Las Vegas native. So he invited me here. I came, applied for jobs, and I got like 3 job offers in one day. And I said, okay, the universe is telling me that I belong in Las Vegas. And so I moved here on August 12th, 1984.
Wow. Now, you grew up in California, and I know that your father passed away a few years back.
Yeah,
and
about 4 years ago.
Yes, and I used to watch all the videos that you used to post about him and with him.
You're going to make me cry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But so Doug and I, today is the first time that
we've met face to face.
We've met face to face also.
But she's already got my heart.
And I've opened up to my listeners part of how Doug and I have mutual acquaintances or friends in common, many, in Las Vegas. And I've mentioned in previous episodes about my tormentor who to date is still stalking me. And unfortunately, the laws are not made to protect people in my situation.
He won't be stalking her for long.
I reached out to Doug a couple years ago, and I shared with him my story and what I was dealing with and still dealing with up to this past summer with him, and how the law, again, is just not there for women in my situation, where we can go into detail some other time. And you were so gracious in
Thank you.
Giving me legal advice and whatnot. And that's how the friendship sparked. And I watch you on live, and I've caught bits and pieces about your life. And I want to know about where you grew up, your mom and dad. And then I know that, I believe it was yesterday when you were doing your live, you mentioned how you were waiting for your acceptance letter from Oregon.
University of Oregon. It's a great story.
Right, it is. And I would love for you to share it with the listeners tonight and how you
I grew up let me start from the beginning. My grandfather homesteaded a plot of land in Northern California, a little tiny village called Tule Lake. There's about, in those days, about 800 people. And the class that I went from 4th grade through high school with, there was 32 of us. Coincidentally, 16 girls and 16 boys. Wow. It worked out quite nicely.
One-on-one.
Yeah. So my grandfather and his children, my father and his brothers, moved there in 1938. They came up from Buttonwillow, California on a flatbed Ford truck, drove all the way up to Tule Lake. They had to build a house in the middle of this 80-acre plot. You had to farm the land for 3 years, and once you farmed it for 3 years, the United States government gave my grandfather title to the land, deed to the land. You could own it free and clear, zero charge.
What year was this?
1938.
1938.
Yeah. And so my father was raised there, and then I also was raised there. And it was a wonderful community. I had a beaver cleaver childhood, Nancy. I mean, listen, you know me. I tried to get in trouble, Nancy. There was no trouble to get into. I tried to get in trouble.
I find that hard to believe.
I tried to get in trouble. There was no trouble to get into. I mean, there just was.
I have a feeling trouble finds you.
Trouble did kind of find me. Yeah.
I think that's what trouble is attracted to you.
But what made me what I am today, the Dino Doug persona, is that I was surrounded by fossils and native artifacts all around our homestead and surrounding ranches. My grandfather started buying plots of land all around his original homestead. So when I was in Thule, the nearest place you could buy a candy bar was 30 miles away. And so there was nothing for us to do except enjoy the wilderness. So my brothers and my friends and I would go out every day and hunt arrowheads and hunt fossils, and that started my fascination with dinosaurs.
Wow. And how old were you then?
I started when I was 10.
10. Now, I believe you mentioned that you also ran for office.
I have not ran for office.
Was it like in high school or middle school?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
student body or something?
That's how I became a lawyer.
That's how you became a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I ran for class president in 1968, 69, 8th grade.
8th grade.
And my platform was, I'm going to be a lawyer someday.
That was your platform?
That was my platform. How about that? Nothing about policy or anything.
So I'll tell you something interesting. I don't really share this story much. It was when Reagan was president.
Right.
I was in 5th grade. And if some of my elementary kids that I grew up with, they follow me on Facebook, so if they're watching this, they might remember. But I ran for 5th grade president.
Wow.
Yeah, and my platform was that instead of 1 root beer float per month, we would have it every Friday. And
great platform for 5th grade.
For 5th grade, right?
That works. It works for me now.
Priorities. Yeah. And then instead of 1 square dance per year, we would have 2. And because I delivered on all my promises, I was reelected 6th grade.
You and I should have met.
We should have.
We were a pair made in heaven.
we should have. So that's fun. So when you were in Germany for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you able to travel all over?
All over. I had
okay.
a wonderful time. So I was at our ranch in Tule Lake. And I was going out. The mailbox was about a quarter of a mile from the house. So I'd walk and get the mail and then walk back. That's the way it is in ranch communities. The mailman doesn't come into every ranch. They come by on the main road.
Do you still have family there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cousins. So I got to the mailbox, and I had applied for University of Oregon. So I was hoping that in the mail that day would be the acceptance to University of Oregon. But instead, it was a brown envelope, and the return address was Department of Defense. They said, Department of Defense? I don't know. Why is the DOD? Now, I had a long walk back to the house, and I didn't open the thing. I'm just walking with it. I'm thinking, my mind is going a mile a minute. Why does DOD want to talk to me? And then I realized they want me to be a spy. They realize that I'm bright and that I can do this. So it's clearly, that's the only reason they would call me. They want me to be a spy. So I sit down at the kitchen table, open it up, and it says, greetings, you have been drafted into the United States Army. I went, what the heck? So this was during Vietnam, of course. And so it said, go to your recruiter. So I go to my recruiter in Klamath Falls, which was quite a ways away. I hand him the letter. I said, what does this mean? And he looks at me and he goes, means you're going to Vietnam, boy. I said, oh my God. But he said they offered a deal. So I got offered a negotiation where if I enlisted for 3 years, instead of get drafted for 2, they would send me to a guaranteed duty station in Germany. So I went to Darmstadt, West Germany, and the first thing I did was buy a little Volkswagen Beetle, and I drove the wheels off of that thing going to every country in Europe.
That is awesome. Do you have a favorite place in Europe that you visited?
I do.
Which is?
2 favorite places.
Okay.
My favorite city in Europe is Venice. You have never seen anything like Venice. People talk about Venice in the summer. Venice in the winter is spectacular.
Really?
It's cold and it's gray, and every evening the fog rolls in off the harbor and just infiltrates through these narrow cobblestone streets in Venice. And Venice is lit by old-fashioned golden incandescent lights, no fluorescent lights, none of that. So when the fog comes in, you have these golden, radiant halos, and they light up the old cobblestones and the buildings that are painted in these ancient pastels. These buildings are 1,000 years old. And you're walking through, and you feel like you're in Disneyland, some kind of magical postcard. And it took my breath away. So I fell in love with Venice, but I liked the women in Spain. Spain was my second favorite.
Because of the women, not the scenery.
Scenery was okay. Women was my main reason, if you know what I'm saying.
I love your honesty.
Yeah.
Now, what made you decide to go into law?
Thank you, Herb. I knew early that I didn't have a whole lot of skill. I was no jog. I mean, I was a little short guy up until I got my growth spurt after the Army. So most of my high school and Army career, I was 5 feet 4 inches tall.
Really?
And weighed 135 pounds. I grew 2 inches. I grew 2 inches from ages 21 to 22.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. So I was a little guy, so I couldn't be an athlete. So I wasn't an athlete, but I knew one thing. I knew that when I really wanted to get somebody to do something, I could talk them into it usually.
The gift
and I thought to myself, what skill, what profession uses the skill of persuasion? And I thought the law. So I decided in 8th grade that I was going to go to law school and be a lawyer, and held on to that the whole way.
Did you pass the bar on your first attempt?
Passed the bar the first attempt in California and the first attempt in Nevada.
Wow. So you're licensed in both?
Was. I surrendered my...
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Herb.
That's pretty impressive. I had a conversation with somebody who was on their third attempt.
The California bar is much harder than Nevada, but they're both very difficult. But that's the one skill I had. I can test take all day long.
And why, in particularly, did you decide to practice family and criminal
defense?
Criminal defense.
That's a great question, and the answer to that is that I'm better on stage.
Okay.
What you do when you're a litigator is you talk to juries.
You perform.
And you talk to judges, and you perform. You perform with a core of genuineness.
Correct.
People sense instantly if you're bullshitting.
I agree.
You must be genuine in your argument and your belief. But I was good at that. Just like I'm doing right now, because I'm genuine in my love of being here and talking to you.
Thank you.
And so I decided to go into litigation, and I had a couple of senior attorneys tell me that I would be a good litigator. My earliest and best mentor was a Nevada Supreme Court justice named Mike Cherry. Mike Cherry is a brilliant legal mind, and he taught me everything I know about how to be a litigation attorney.
Wow. What is the longest case you litigated?
I had child custody cases that went back and forth with custody switching for over 10 years.
Really?
It's a horrible thing for the kids. Horrible, horrible thing. And it's a horrible thing for the system. And it's a horrible thing for the parties, horrible thing for the judge, horrible thing for the attorneys. That doesn't happen as often anymore, but back in the old days, we were kind of forging new ground with this family law. When I started practicing family law in Nevada, there was about 6 Supreme Court cases that set all the law. Now there's hundreds. And you have to know the precedent for each of those cases to really be a good lawyer.
Okay. What's the shortest case you litigated?
I have
Do you recall?
Yeah. I
And
have,
why?
I have walked in.
Uh-huh.
All right, I've got two good war stories. The first one is a criminal case. My client was charged with murder. And I walked into court on the initial appearance, the initial arraignment. My client was in custody. I said, "Good morning, Your Honor. We've received a copy of the complaint. We'll waive the reading. I've discussed it with my client, and Your Honor, I'd like to do an oral motion to dismiss the case." "Mr. Crawford, what are you talking about?" And I pointed out how the complaint was defective legally and factually in 3 different respects. And the judge looked at it and said, "DA, do you have a response?" DA spouted some bullshit, and the judge looked at him and goes, "Case dismissed." So I got a murder case dismissed in 5 minutes. Huh?
Talk about a badass
How many lawyers
attorney.
can do that, huh?
Wow.
That was worth that guy's money.
I bet.
He paid me a pretty penny, but he got his money's worth.
Wow. And when was that?
That was about 98 or 99.
Okay.
Something like that.
What was litigating in Vegas in the 80s and 90s? Because I've been here since the early 2000s, and I mean,
Wild.
it's Vegas.
Wild. I could tell you war stories. The judges were fast and loose and wild in those days, and litigation was fast and loose and wild. One of my most interesting cases was when I got to town, the mob was still running the show.
Mm-hmm.
It was corporate was just beginning in the casino industry. So I represented a guy, I won't use his name, but it was an Italian name. And he was charged with coercion. He was trying to, he owned an escort business for women. And he was trying to do an old school New York. He was out of New York. So he was with the Bonanno family. So the Bonanno family was trying to take over the illegal prostitution in Las Vegas. So they decided they would usurp all of these escort agencies and coalesce them under one guy, my guy. So he gets arrested, and he brought in an enforcer from New York.
Oh.
Now, I will say the enforcer's name because he wasn't a client of mine, and I can release that information. His name was Vinny Congiusti, but he had a nickname. They all have nicknames. His nickname was the Aspirins. I said, "Vinny, why do they call you the Aspirins? What's that all about?" He goes, "Mr. Crawford, because when the mob has a headache, they call me." He was the aspirins for the mob's headache.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. When they busted my
fascinating.
client, Vinny was in the passenger seat, and in the back seat was Vinny's toolkit. It was a little duffel bag. In the duffel bag were the following items: a handheld butane torch, a set of dental tools, a knife, a 30-foot length of cotton rope, a snub-nose handgun, a hoodwink, that's the hood, the wink, the pouch that you put over someone's head, and a pair of handcuffs. So Vinny was going to put some pressure
on a leaky faucet.
These other guys to get them, them to give up their interest to my client. Yeah,
Wow.
That was a good case. I won that case too.
So as 37 years practicing law, what are some words of wisdom
40.
that you would give to anybody listening?
Well, avoid having to hire a lawyer if it's possible. I guess the most succinct way to put it is obey the law. Obey the law. Now, I haven't been too good at that myself, believe me. I've been charged with stuff before. Everything was dismissed. How
about when hiring an attorney?
All right, that's a great question.
Because there's so many attorneys.
And in this town, and they're all screaming for your attention. There's no town in the world where there's this many attorney billboards.
It's commercial after commercial after commercial.
And all lawyers.
All claiming.
Because the lawyers in this town are making a lot of money.
Right.
And they can spend those advertising dollars.
So what would be your advice?
All right, I have great advice for that, Nancy. And the advice is this. You talk to friends and family about what kind of case you have and get 3,
Mhm.
4, 5 recommendations. If you can't get one from them, call the State Bar of Nevada and get a recommendation from them. But then you call, not one lawyer, call 3 to 5 lawyers and talk to the lawyer themselves personally on the phone. If the staff won't let you talk to the lawyer, then that's the wrong lawyer for you. You want to find a lawyer that'll speak to you on the phone about your case before you hire them. So you talk to that lawyer, and if you find that there's a personal rapport, if they're listening to what you're saying, and if they're understanding the ins and outs of your case quickly and grasping it, then that's the lawyer for you. She's probably got your best interest at heart.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good advice.
Yeah. So find a personal rapport with that lawyer. That's
Okay.
the best advice I can give.
Which I think is also really important just with like your doctor. You know,
same thing.
same thing.
Same thing.
That's what I have learned through my health journey.
I've done some mental health counseling just for my own
Oh,
well-being.
have you?
And man, with shrinks, it's even more important. You've got to find somebody that you can relate to.
Yeah, and I think somebody that can truly bring out the vulnerable side out of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
And I was Mr. Almighty Powerful Litigator. Nobody could get me to, I was a badass. To pierce my armor shell took artillery. You know what I'm saying?
really, you and an ego?
Shut up. Shut up,
No
Nancy.
way.
I mean, I did like myself a
Come
little.
on. Come on. Hey, no, I think that's where
It's
we
part
get
of the
along.
business. If you're going to be a litigator,
It
if you don't put yourself out there
Right.
as the shit, you don't get any business.
Right. And and I think of politicians. A lot of them are lawyers,
Yeah,
but a lot of them also, I see them as salespeople.
big time.
Yeah,
It's all sales.
They are, because they just have degrees and a suit.
You don't have a product, you're selling yourself.
You're selling yourself,
Mhm.
and some of them are better than others. The majority are not very good.
No.
It's just you're
8 lawyers out of 10 are not worth hiring. That's a true story.
and 9 out of 10 salespeople are not very good.
Don't sell.
Don't sell.
You know that.
Yes,
And-
I know that,
Mhm.
and so it's interesting how if people just looked at politicians more as their sales reps, they would realize that their sales rep isn't doing a very good job,
Right.
especially in today's world.
Right.
And I try to make everything
Because the
relatable.
politician is repping you to
Correct.
the government. I mean, and they have to have your best interest at heart, not their own interest of just getting reelected
Right.
or sounding good or looking good for the cameras. They're supposed to represent the people, which is why, and there just aren't that many of those out there now. There's
Yeah.
just not many.
And that's how I think of it. And also, Aaron, can we put up the numbers? Because we'll open up the lines soon for questions. Because I want to get into your fascinating passion.
My hobby.
Yes.
My hobby turned my retirement
Because
career.
you're a connoisseur.
The birth of the
So
Dino
if-
Doug persona.
We are opening up the lines. If you have any questions, if you are located in the United States, you can call us at 702-329-6947. Canada, 587-997-3200. And international, 1-855-502-4321 for any questions. So we'll be opening up the lines. Now, your content, especially on TikTok,
Right.
is everything dinosaurs.
Right.
And I don't know how you are able to keep so much information in your mind.
I've been that way my whole life.
Have you?
Yeah. About the law, about anything that I was interested in, I know about it. And here's something. This is interesting, and I've talked to other people about this, and they look at me with surprise on their face. I don't know how you learn something, and then at some point not know it. Once I learn something, it's there forever. I mean, it never goes away. If I learn a fact, that fact is with me. I mean,
Really?
I can tell you right now where my Boy Scout pocket knife is in my house. I can tell you the exact drawer, the exact corner, the exact box.
You don't think that's military in you?
Could be. Yeah.
Because, as an Army wife, there's certain things for me that I may know. Because, it trickles down to the
Right.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I was just,
that's true.
Now, do you fold
Yes.
Your underwear?
And underwear is
socks?
folded.
Really?
If I wear them.
Well,
And,
oh yeah. You're a commando the other day.
You're not commando today.
That's it.
I decided in your
Okay.
honor, I'd actually wear underwear.
Thank you for not being a swinger today.
Yeah. A swinger, so
A
to speak.
swinger, so to speak, yes.
So, early on, they absolutely fascinated me, these extinct beasts.
Mhm.
The size of them, the millions of different shapes and ecological niches that they filled. And so I just became fascinated by them. Plus, right where I was, we found Ice Age fossils. I found Camelops hesperus teeth, extinct camels. I found ground sloth, Chestensis ground sloth teeth. So it was around me, and it was interesting, and I could see it. So it just latched on and became fascinating. From the time I was a kid, 6 years old, I could name just about every dinosaur. And it's so different.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And they can't anymore because they've discovered so many. But when I was a kid, there was only a few dozen.
But when I hear you speak, the things that you say, I'm just like, where does he find the room to keep all this information in? And
I've studied it.
You brought so many.
Hi, Nick Mac.
First, tell me about your necklace that you're wearing, please.
Well, I choke on my coffee. This is a really cool necklace. I don't know if you guys can see it. Aaron, can you come in on that? This is a handcrafted Navajo necklace made by my friend Jarvis Yazzie, who is a Navajo elder. Lives in the bottom of Canyon de Chelly. Canyon de Chelly is the heart of the Navajo Nation. It's a beautiful canyon.
Where is it located?
It's located near Chinle, Arizona.
Okay.
Northeastern Arizona. So Jarvis's family has lived there for generations, 6 generations. They farm in the bottom of the canyon, they run sheep, and he makes this jewelry. So I became friends with him, and he showed me the great honor of making and giving me this necklace. This necklace has, this is not an old arrowhead, this is a modern arrowhead he made. But
it's
this
sharp
little,
too.
Very sharp, it would cut you.
Yeah.
Bad. So this little guy right here is a little horned toad with turquoise in his back, and both of those have significance in Navajo culture. The horned toad in Navajo is called the Che'i. Che'i is a very significant deity to Navajo culture, and it represents grandfatherly wisdom. So he called me Che'i Dino Doug, and he thought that I had a little bit of grandfatherly wisdom.
Because you do.
I guess. So he gave this to me, and I cherish it, and I wore it in honor of Nancy.
Well, thank you. Now, does the red and the turquoise, the layout of the colors?
They do have significance. The red coral, I can't remember what the meaning of it is, but red coral has meaning, and of course turquoise is the sacred stone of the Navajo Nation.
Okay.
And they have a saying that the Creator recognizes when he looks down and he sees a flash of blue, he recognizes that it's one of his children.
Interesting.
So that's why Navajos wear turquoise, so that the Creator can recognize them on Earth.
I was not aware of that. You just taught me that, and I own a lot of turquoise.
Yeah, it's cool. So the Creator follows you. He knows where you're at.
Well,
When
I was in Italy, in Rome, that I was in a boutique, and the owner, he hand carved different pieces of jewelry, and he gave me a ring that he hand carved with some Egyptian turquoise in it.
Wow.
And I was actually going to wear it because remember I told you I had a necklace similar to yours, but mine isn't, I'm sure, as pretty because mine had gold in it too and turquoise. But I'll have to show you that ring.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah. So can you now? One of
4 sacred mountain stones, says Herb. Herb is on my TikTok live. Herb is a Navajo. He's a Navajo elder, and Herb says that the turquoise and the coral are part of the 4 sacred. What does he call them? Sacred mountain stones.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what that means, but what's cool about tech? Look at this.
I know.
We're in a studio in Vegas.
I know.
Herb is in Chaco Canyon, New Mexico. And Herb is telling us about the significance of the stones that I'm wearing while we're live on the air.
Which is so cool.
It's
And,
amazing.
Yeah.
And Aaron over there is a techno genius who's putting it all together.
Aaron is the whole reason I'm even behind this mic.
That's right.
So,
Aaron's going to help me too.
Yes.
He's going to grow me. Aaron's going to grow me from 50,000 to 1 million.
And can you also show me and tell me, because you were giving me details about the tooth, because this tooth is just fascinating.
I love and collect fossils, and
Right.
I took this fossil as a fee, a legal fee.
There it is. The camera.
Aaron, can you see that?
Yeah, there. You see it?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, here we go. Where's the camera?
Just push it more towards the. There you go.
There you go.
All right.
We'll move
So this is a megalodon tooth. Megalodon was a giant shark. The guy that owned this tooth was the size of a school bus.
Really?
Do you know how many? This tooth, as you can see from my hand, is about a little over 6 inches long. This is extraordinarily large. The biggest one in the world is about an inch longer than this.
Wow.
Yeah, so this one's extremely large. So he had 300 of these in his mouth. And when a megalodon opened his mouth, the opening was about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. They could swallow anything whole. They ate mosasaurs, they ate ammonites, they ate plesiosaurs, they ate all kinds of large sea creatures. So this tooth is, if you could feel it, I wish you guys could feel it. Nancy, put your finger.
know,
It's razor sharp.
Yes, and it has
To this
little
day.
ridges.
This fossil is 10 million years old.
10 million.
No, more than that. Yeah, it's actually about 10 million years old. So what a cool thing. And
300 of these.
yeah, you had 300 minutes. I mean, here's a comparison. Here's one in my mouth.
Well, I mean, it's the size of my hand.
Yeah.
Just to, and it's heavy too, and 300 of these. And where did you?
I got this from a
That's from
client who found it in Florida.
In Florida.
Yeah.
Wow.
Florida has a unique kind of unique kind of geology called karst topography. Karst topography is limestone beds,
Mm-hmm.
and when the fossils erode out of the matrix, whatever dirt they're in, they end up resting right on that limestone bedrock.
Wow.
So you can go into a creek or a cave, and you can search along that bedrock and find this.
Now, where is it that most fossils are found?
Guess what? They are found all over the planet. They're every single continent on Earth, including Antarctica and the Arctic, have dinosaur fossils.
Okay.
So dinosaurs and extinct creatures were on every single land surface on Earth. Now, we happen to be lucky in North America, and we have some amazing places where fossils are easier to find. The famous Hell's Creek Formation in Montana is full of dinosaurs. And in Utah, there's a ton of them. In Arizona, there's a ton of them. California has some. Nevada has only one dinosaur, unfortunately. But
I would think there'd be more.
yeah, you'd think so. But
Yeah.
this is more recent geology.
Mm. And our next.
All right, this is my guy right here. This is my favorite fossil in my collection. I love him. This
Does he have a name?
this species is called Cauchusaurus. So I call this little guy Coochie. He's my little Coochie. I love my little Coochie.
Oh, that's why he's your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So Coochie is what they call a lizard form.
Mm-hmm.
He's technically a pre-dinosaur. He predates the dinosaurs.
Okay.
He's about 200 million years old. He was found in China, and now it's illegal to import these from China. But
Uh-huh.
when I got this fossil, I purchased it. I didn't find it. It was legal to bring them in from China, and I bought this one for a lot of money.
I bet. How long have you had it?
I've had it about 20 years now, and actually more than that, about 25. But how many people do you know that own their own dinosaur?
I don't. You're the
Yeah,
first.
that's
And this
right.
is the first time I personally,
Feel him.
I know, get to touch one. And
So he's got
the
his
detail.
pretty little head there, and
Mhm.
then a long neck like a modern monitor lizard, and then his robust body. Look at how big those humerus bones and femur bones are. Those are very heavy and robust. So he was he was very muscular.
How many bones did it have?
I don't know, a lot.
A lot.
We
Okay.
could count them.
Oh, I was just, well, like I said, you know
Yeah,
so much. I figured
it's
you would
over
know.
300.
Over
yeah. Mhm.
And what did it eat?
They would forage on just about any little small scurrying thing that they could find. In those days, that would have been primitive insects
Mm-hmm.
and probably little fish and crustaceans.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure, maybe some of the early mammals. But he was a little meat eater. Look at that mean little mouth.
Was there a location where they were found the most?
These were in the Gobi Desert in China.
In China, okay.
That's where he was found.
Oh, that's where he was found.
Yeah.
Anywhere else? Or that was mainly
just China.
China?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Now, the balls. That's what I call them. The balls.
Let's
Yes.
move this out of the way because I don't want to.
No.
I don't want to
because-
set my balls on my
No,
dinosaur.
we need to be careful with them.
So this, everyone says, when I ask them, what are these? Everyone to a person says, testicles. These are not testicles. These are, and this is really cool. This is my second favorite part of my collection. This is a hadrosaur egg cluster. These are hadrosaur eggs, and these are as they were found in the nest. So they were connected, so the hadrosaur would lay them in a circular pattern. This is only 2 of what was probably 15 or 30 in the nest, right?
Wow.
And they were connected by this sandstone, which was mud at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so hadrosaurs, one of the names for one of the hadrosaur species is called Maiasaurus. Maia is Latin for mother. So they're called good mother lizards. And they're called that for a reason, because they have found in Montana, in the Badlands, and some other places, acres and acres of these hadrosaur nests, circular depressions with 30, 40 of these eggs in them, all neatly arranged. And the mothers would sit on them and brood them. And the reason we know that is because we've also have fossils where the eggs hatched. So there's egg shells and little pitter-patter feet around, and mommy's tracks next to it. So you could see maternal behavior
Wow.
coming through from, in that case, 70 million years or so.
About how many eggs would they lay?
Between 15 and 30.
And 30?
In a nest. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. I don't even want to tell you how much I paid for these bad boys. Not too many people have real dinosaur eggs.
I mean, I wouldn't even know
What it was.
what it was.
You
or
would
where,
think it was balls.
I would, or I would just think that there were 2 rocks attached to each other.
Mhm.
Where did you find this?
I got this in a fossil shop.
In a fossil
Yeah,
shop.
I paid for it. But this was back in the day. You can buy these still, but they're out of this world. I bought these early when fossil collecting was still in its nascency, because I'm an old man. I'm an old Dino Doug. I'm as old as a dinosaur.
I would just like to think you're just full of wisdom.
You have a comment.
I have are the little so it's from Carrie Crawl on Facebook. Are little dinosaurs in there still? I thought they were balls too.
Didn't
I know, me too,
everybody?
Carrie.
Carrie, that is a great question, but let me tell you the answer. Guess what? I thought the same thing. So I took these to UMC and had a CAT scan done.
Did you really?
I did. I wanted to know, are there little skeletons in here? There were not. So they were before they became viable. So it was just solid rock all the way through. But to answer your question, Carrie, there are some that have skeletons in them.
Now, have you ever dropped it? Or is
No.
there any pieces missing? No. Okay.
This is all. This is the way it was found.
This is what was found.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Wow. How much does it weigh? Because the thing
I
is
would
heavy.
say about close to 30 pounds, 25, 30 pounds.
Okay. And there would have been 2 babies.
Yeah, 2 eggs.
Two
and
eggs.
they would have been arranged in a circular depression about this big around.
Mm-hmm.
And
How much did each baby weigh when it was born?
they were little guys. Think of a baby hadrosaur. Think of a goose or a duck,
Okay.
about the size of a duck,
Okay.
running around. And Mama was 15, 20 feet high. Mama weighed 10 tons. Mama was 30 feet long,
Wow.
15 feet high. Bigger than an African elephant today. She was walking around on 2 legs
Wow.
and stomping around carefully, not stomping her babies.
And
But I bet you some did get trampled once in a while.
I'm sure. And Dad?
Dad was out watching the football game.
Typical man,
Yeah.
even back in the day.
Right.
But was Dad just as big or bigger?
Dad was bigger. They were sexually dimorphic, that's
Okay.
called. When the sexes are different sizes. Male hadrosaurs were slightly bigger, not greatly. But there is no evidence that they played a role in raising the babies. There is some evidence for maternal behavior among hadrosaurs. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is. Now, which is the least maternal of dinosaurs that you know of?
We don't have much. That's a good question.
Mhm.
And the answer is we don't know. It's so hard. Think about it. It's so hard to find evidence of parenting behavior. How would you find that in the fossil record? And the only reason we found it with hadrosaurs is because we found these giant fields of nests that had tracks, eggs, and eggshells where they'd been hatched. So we could see the picture. But the only other time we found it is one of my followers will know this. Hey, Yolanda. Yeah. One of the other followers would have seen me show the Mama Dilophosaur and Baby Dilophosaur. Did you see that TikTok? It's a really
Was that
great
the
one.
one where it
The
was
little-
hatching?
No, a little
No?
baby print. Mama's print is right here, and the little baby is running around.
I may have missed it.
It's gotten well over 1 million views. On that.
Okay, I'll have to take a look at it.
That's fun.
You have so much great footage.
Yeah. I film every damn thing.
It's awesome.
It's
And
fun.
that you take us with you.
I think part of it is that it's so damn interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes through because I'm fascinated by this shit. I could talk about it all day long.
Well, your passion definitely comes through.
That's good.
Yeah.
And your passion about your thing comes through
Thank
too.
you.
You're very, like the way this interview has been a joy because you're not asking bullshit questions. You're asking me about me. And we're making this, I think this is pretty damn good.
Well, I'm interested because, like I said, I find you fascinating. Did you have to let them know that?
Live will
Oh, you
end
think you
in
have to move
5
the
minutes.
puzzle that you are a real person.
And I am.
You have to drag it perfectly. No, I find you fascinating, like I mentioned, because otherwise we wouldn't be having this conversation. You're a wealth of knowledge, and everything that you show to us where you travel,
Mhm.
especially the hotel here in Nevada. I did not know this story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I learned so much about our state
Mm-hmm.
because of you.
Well, I was here early when I moved to town in 1984. Let me tell you the story of how I arrived in Las Vegas. It's a great story.
Okay.
I was a freshly minted law school grad, had not passed the Nevada bar exam yet, had not gotten the results from the California bar. So I come over the hill down into the Las Vegas Valley. It was dark, dark, dark desert. And then I look over the hill and there's this glittering playground of neon lights. And I thought, what the hell did I get into? So I pull into Vegas and I said, the first thing I got to do is get a place to stay. So I was driving a Honda Civic, a Honda Matic, tiny little Civic about the size of a bathtub. In that was all of my worldly possessions. Sitting in the passenger seat was my law degree, and in my wallet was 5 crispy $100 bills, which was my total net worth at the time. So I said,
What year was this?
1984.
84, okay.
So I said, I got to get set up in Vegas on $500. So I pull into what was then called the Bingo Palace. It's now Palace Station. In those days, it was just a warehouse with bingo,
Right.
live bingo. There was no bingo machines in those days. So I pull in, and there was some little cheap-ass cracker box cucaracha apartments behind there, and one of them was called the Teddy Apartments. And I pulled in, and I walked into the office in the Teddy Apartments, and I said, how much is it for first and last and security deposit? And he says, well, that is $179 a month. And I said, I can afford that. Can you imagine that? You could rent an apartment for $179 a month in Las Vegas. So,
1984.
and because I was an aspiring litigator, I said, listen, I can't pay you first and last, but I'm just got out of law school. I've got a job, and I showed him my job offer, and I'll pay you. So waive the first and last and just let me get in for $179, and the guy agreed. So I get my little apartment. So the day I got to town, I had an apartment, and I had a job, and it was off to the races. Yeah.
Anything you'd do differently?
Yeah. Let me tell you the biggest mistake I made in my legal career. You know all those billboards you see up and down I-15?
Yes.
Yeah. They're all close personal friends of mine. And we talked in Ed Bernstein. Eddie and I were good friends. And early in the 80s, we talked. And I said, Eddie, what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going into personal injury. I said, oh my God, that's so boring, chasing ambulances. Who wants to do that? I want to go to court and litigate. I want to be a real lawyer. So I decided to go into criminal defense and family law. All of my friends that went into personal injury are now worth $50 million, $100 million. I mean, they're making between $1 and $10 million a month. And
so that's what you would do differently.
I would go into personal injury because I could have still litigated. I could have tried PI cases.
Yeah.
So I would have done that differently.
Okay. Now, in honor of you, I shared with you that I found a pager.
Oh my goodness, we've got a fossil.
We have a fossil that most people, the 90s. When did pagers go away? Like early 2000s? No, not early. Was it 90s?
I think late 90s.
Late 90s, right? So I found my pager that I've had since high school. One of my brothers gifted it to me, and you know what's funny is I tried turning it on,
does it still
and
work?
it wouldn't. And then I realized, it needs a battery.
Yeah.
So I took out the old battery, and I figured since you are here with me, we would test it out and see if it works.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, live and in color from wonderful scenic Las Vegas, we're having the beeper reveal.
It turned on.
Powered up.
It powered up.
Oh, let me show it to my followers.
Oh
Look
my
at
God.
The beeper powered up, guys. Look at that.
I just heard the noise.
If we get a beep, I'm going to freak out.
I should put a number on it.
There it
Look at
is.
it. I wonder, do you remember how people used to send messages?
Yeah.
We used to turn it
with the numbers.
With the numbers.
Upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I could
hello.
spell Shell Oil. 7743 was Shell. And oil.
Oh my gosh, it turns on. It works. And then hello. Do you
Yeah.
hello?
You could do,
or I
and
love you.
Yeah,
call me.
Yeah.
We had to be so creative back
in
then.
those days.
And we actually had to interact and have a conversation.
Are you trying to say that you and I are, in a sense, fossils?
We are fossils.
If we're not, Aaron damn sure is.
Yeah, we're fossils. Aaron, any questions or any other comments before we say goodbye?
Somebody said Venice is romantic. Somebody wanted to know if you study dinosaur bones.
I do study dinosaur bones. That's my whole hobby. And I have gone out and dug them. My number one fan who's on with us live now is Randy Tagg. Randy, I want to recognize. He's a great guy. Randy and I are going to go to the Morrison Formation in
Oh, Randy Tagg.
Yeah.
Oh, is he on?
Yeah, he's on.
Hi, Randy.
We're going to go to the Morrison Formation in Montana this summer, and we're going to find some dinosaurs.
Nice.
So, yes, I study dinosaur bones.
Okay.
I live for dinosaur bones.
Any?
Derek,
Have you been to the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Canada?
that is the holy grail of dinosaurdom.
Say that the people don't hear me, so.
I have not been to the Royal Tyrrell Museum, but I really want to because there are more and better dinosaur fossils at the Royal Tyrrell Museum than anywhere in the world. It's got the greatest dinosaur fossil collection. It's incredible. Giant sauropods that are 130 feet long
Wow.
and 40 feet tall. You could, standing next to the leg of one of those sauropods is like standing next to an oak tree. They were just gigantic.
And that's something that you and Randy are doing.
Well, no,
Or-
we're going to go to Montana,
Oh,
and we're
Montana,
going to
okay.
actually go on a dig. And
How
see.
cool
Yeah.
is that? Yeah.
You have another message.
Another message. Okay.
Anjali is on.
Okay, then Carrie, we have another. Where have you traveled that has the most memorable fossil you ever found?
That is a great question, Carrie, and let me tell you, the coolest fossil that I ever found myself was a fully articulated ichthyosaur vertebral column. Now, a vertebral column is a backbone.
Okay.
And I was in Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park in Gabbs, Nevada. And they have a structure there that's full of these ichthyosaur fossils. These giant marine reptiles, about the size of a modern sperm whale. They were huge.
Wow.
But I went off trail
Uh-huh.
and off into the bedrock myself. Why? Because I'm Dino freaking Doug. That's
And
why.
you're curious.
Yeah. And I went out there and I looked down and I saw something sticking out of the dirt, and I went and excavated a little around it, and I found a fully articulated ichthyosaur vertebral column that was unknown to the Park Service at that time. I got the rangers, brought them to that, and they flipped out. They couldn't believe they
Wow.
found another ichthyosaur. So that was my
That's a
coolest
cool-
one. Great question.
Great question. I did not know that. Thank you, Carrie.
Mhm.
Any other questions before we say goodbye, Aaron?
Can you make money being archaeologist?
That's tough. Answer is yes. The other answer is not much. And the other answer is it's pretty damn tough. You have to get into academia, really.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work with a university or something like that. There are private archaeologists that work as consultants or that work on their own and sell their finds. That's kind of frowned on in the profession. We like to preserve these things for science, for everyone's benefit, because they're very rare.
Science?
They're fossils.
Wow, science matters?
Science matters.
Wow, science
Yeah.
matters? I had no idea.
So there's a
Wow.
guy on my live now, Derek. Derek and I found our own archaeological site one time. Derek
That's
and I
cool.
found
Well,
a Pueblo village that had six Navajo skeletons in it, or ancient skeletons, humans.
well, Doug, it's 7:06.
Has it been real?
I know. I can go for hours
Me too.
talking with you.
Me
We
too.
need to do an episode 2.
I'm ready.
A
when you
follow
are.
up. Yeah, we
And
need.
I'll bring some different fossils.
Yes,
and
they would be so
some different
cool.
topics.
Yes. Aaron, anything else? Any other? No? Okay.
Oh, thank
Well,
you. Gosh,
Nancy,
Doug.
thank you.
thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
This was a
Tonight.
great joy, and thank my
It was.
followers for watching.
And thank you,
live.
everyone watching on
I
my
hope
live
hit
as
that
well.
like button.
And thank you, everybody that's
follow.
watching and listening from
Herb,
home, wherever
Randy,
you're located.
Derek,
Thank you so
Anjali,
much.
Love you guys very
And,
much.
Going forward, I know that I said I would going to try to do an episode every Tuesday, but this month I've just realized that I just cannot because I do have other commitments. So I will be doing 2 episodes per month. The next one is already recorded and it will air Tuesday, February the 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So going forward, they will be pre-recorded. I will be doing lives on the Tuesdays that I am not airing an episode, and then we can discuss how we want to move forward and topics that we want to discuss and some other guests that you'd like to see.
I could
So-
be a guest host, and I promise I would wear a long, dark wig, and I would do my best Nancy imitation.
Well, can you do me a favor and say goodbye?
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Las Vegas, Nancy's Riot says goodbye, folks, and thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to Nancy's Riot. Have a good night.